Hey, what's up everyone? I'm Colby from Sanitarium Productions. We're back again with another action figure review. In today's episode, we're taking a look at the new box set from the Marvel Legends series, X-Men Days of Future Past. This comes from Hasbro and was just recently released. This is December when I'm filming this of 2018, so if you're watching this at some other time, it may not have been recently released, but I had actually just pretty much gotten out of the Marvel Legends series, so I can't really help but think, you know, just when you think you're out of something, they come and pull some stunt and suck you back in, and that's exactly what they've done here. They come and release this awesome set and just kind of suckered me right back into this whole Marvel Legends line. So good job by Hasbro for that. I do applaud them for their efforts. This was a Toys R Us. It was an exclusive on Amazon. I don't know if it actually was there for any other retailers or anything like that, but I did find it on Amazon to begin with. And they actually had it on sale during the Thanksgiving holiday season, during Black Friday and stuff like that. So that's really the reason I picked it up. The original retail pricing of this is kind of high. It's $100 by retail. They actually had it on sale for about $50 when I picked it up. For that price, it's a steal. We'll see if it's worth it for the full retail price as we go forward here, but let's just go ahead and get through this and get started here. To start with, it does have this amazing artwork on the front of the box, and as you can see, it is a really large box. Got my camera extended all the way up, and it still just barely fits, and I'm having to do it long ways here as opposed to up and down, but really awesome artwork, great, just all around look of the thing. And it is from the Days of Future Past. I've always loved that particular line in the comics. Really awesome story, really awesome artwork. It is just really cool. The cool thing about this, actually, we'll just go ahead and start here. Traditional kind of side view, and then on the back here we get some actual product shots of the set. So we've got a Sentinel, and we've got Logan there, Wolverine from that particular series. Very cool looking. The other awesome thing about this is that this is a flip case. Got some little Velcro on the side, and you open this thing up to reveal the figure, and it's really cool looking. Looks awesome inside of here. We do have a little bit of the artwork here from the actual comic series on this side. Very cool looking. Again, this thing is massive. And we got lights and sounds here, so let's just press this little button and see what happens. Really awesome kind of set of all that stuff. Lots of different phrases going on. Very cool. We're going to go ahead and get this thing opened up and unboxed here. If I can figure out how to do that easily. So yeah, bear with me. This one's going to be a little bit of a doozy. We do have a piece of tape up here on the top holding this flap on. So we're just going to go ahead and slice that open. Pop this out. And in theory, this whole thing will just slide out. And Let's see if we can get this to work. Doesn't really want to come out. What's it getting hung on? I don't know. There we go. Cool. Set the box off to the side here. So we get kind of a traditional packaging here from the Marvel Legends line, just oversized. We also get a how to replace the batteries. You flip up its backside, pull this out with some screwdrivers, and looks like they've actually just pretty straightforward. So yeah, there's that insert. We'll set that. We don't need that anymore. And then this entire thing is actually, oddly enough, we've got these little tie things here holding everything in place. So they're not twist ties, they're just these little plastic clips. So I'm just going to snip them off real quick. This thing's probably going to make a big thuddy sound here in a moment. There we go. I think that's all of them. So flip it back over. And there you kind of see the actual insert here. Got some nice art in the background here from that same comic series. So very cool. We'll shove that over here to the side as well. This thing's cool. Alright, so to begin with, we still got some of these little rubber bandy things here. So I'm going to flip this back over gently and try to find all these things. And I think all we got really left is what's holding Logan in. So let's go ahead and snip them. It's kind of the same plasticky pieces that we had for the Sentinel. And there's one right over here. And I think that's it. So let's try this again and see what happens here. Actually, I think I missed another one here. There's one here on his leg. Pop that off. That one's open. Got that one. That one should be good. So let's go ahead and yank out Wolverine here. Crinkly, clink, crinkle, crinkle. This thing's in here pretty good. Alright, so there is the Wolverine figure. We will zoom in a little bit closer here in a moment and take a look at the details and everything, but there's the old Wolverine. We also have a couple of accessories down here on the corner here for Wolverine. We've got some different hands and a pistol here, so we're just going to take our X-Acto knife and slice this tape open. That's all that's really holding this in here. And should be good to pop this stuff out. So there's his little pistol. Alternate hand one. and alternate hand number 2. So some cool accessories. We'll get into that momentarily. Let's see about getting this guy out now. That's a racket. Alright, we'll take the plastic and throw it to the side now. It looks like we're still going to have to keep this thing sideways. Get rid of the rest of these rubber bands everywhere. And there we go. We have the awesome Sentinel figure and Wolverine here. So, yes, where y'all want to start at? We're going to start with the Sentinel, because it's massive, it's cool, it's big. And alright, so to start with, this thing is extremely heavy, which is really good. I do like the scale of this thing. The color looks great. It actually looks better in person probably than it's showing up on camera. But you do have some nice details here. The paints are kind of metallic in places, and you've got this kind of weird sparkly kind of stuff, I guess is the best way of stating that. But it's really nice. They got some really good details. Flipping it over to the back so you can kind of see what's going on there. Very nice looking. You got the speaker in the back. This little plate lifts up to get into the battery for access to change those out. Nice head sculpt. It's all around really cool looking. You can kind of see for scale here. It's definitely within scale of the Marvel Legends series. So, you know, Logan is usually one of the smaller figures in the set. So this guy still towers over him. So it's a really awesome figure here, if you can even call this thing a figure anymore. But we are going to, so let's look at articulation here. Go sideways here for a moment. The head spins 360 degrees. It's a little stiff. It has really not got any up and down motion, so it's pretty much just forward facing. We do have the standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joint. These pauldron things here kind of get in the way, but they're made out of this nice flimsy plastic, so you can kind of still move this thing all the way around. Just kind of bend it, and then there you go. So then it's there we go. Does have full. Then you've got a twist joint there at the upper bicep. You've got a double joint at the elbow. And let's see here, we have a twist joint. Actually, it's a kind of a ball joint here all the way around on the hand. It kind of just moves all sorts of which directions, so you can kind of go any which way you want to with that. You also have a swivel at the top of the gauntlet. That's cool. So yeah, really cool articulation there. We have, don't think we have any ab crunch feature, but you do have the twist waist feature there. Then we've got the standard kind of ball joint there at the hips, and kind of standard for most of these Marvel Legends series. So you got a wide movement there, and then you also have the twist at the very top of the thigh. You have a double knee joint. You have a, have to keep repositioning here, twist joint at the top of the boots. And then you've got this cool rocker joint here at the foot. So it's kind of a, I guess more of a ball joint than anything. But it does move side to side. You're not really getting a whole lot of front and back motion on it. But there's a little bit there, so all in all, really nice. A lot more articulation on this thing than I actually thought was going to be there. You do have some side-to-side movement here as well. There we go. This thing's a little stiff, but so yeah, really amazing articulation on this guy. That's pretty awesome. It is a little stiff again, so just be careful when you're moving it around. I have a feeling that some of these joints might pop a little bit too much when you do move it. So just kind of be mindful of that. There we go. Just feels a little too clunky there, but still looks really amazing. Nice grip on here, so you can kind of get whatever it is that you're wanting there. The fingers are not articulated, so you can't really like grip anything. But you can kind of see here, he can basically hold somebody in his hand there by the waist. So that's pretty cool, pretty interesting. So yeah, that's pretty amazing, and it does have the electronic sound thing going on there. So yeah, that's really cool. This thing is really massive, really awesome. Let's go ahead and zoom in and take a look at the Wolverine figure now, and we're actually going to zoom in on it so we're not way far away. Get a little bit better look at this guy here. And again, so for size comparison, now that we're zoomed in, here is basically the arm of the Sentinel is about the size of Wolverine here. Put him up from the ground there. You can see it hits at about his kneecap. So that's how big this damn thing is. So very cool though. Figure. Let's see here. So this has got some really cool detail work on it as well. I really do like this version of Wolverine. It's kind of the Old Man Logan before they came up with the premise for Old Man Logan. So it is a really good and really faithful adaptation of the comic book version of this guy from that future, potential future. So very nice, very cool. I do love the way they got the jacket in here, all the folds and everything, and the detail work they actually have into like the pants. Got a nice texture to it. Very cool. Silver highlights on all the buckles. He's got a holster on his side here that the pistol will actually fit into, so that's really nice. I love those things. The hands have the claws extended on it. These are pretty decent, actually. This one hand has got them a little bit bent, and we've kind of run into this same problem with many of the other ones. You can kind of stick it in some warm water and kind of reform these to get them to go a little bit straighter. This one's not as bad as it could have been. And you also have the little feature that these things all pop out. So if you ever want to, just display it with only, 2 claws, 1 claw, no claws, you can always just pop these things out. You can straighten them up a little bit and then kind of just reinsert them pretty easily. I say pretty easily, but it isn't that easy when you're doing it on the camera, is it? But they do just pop back in here usually. There we go. Nope, almost. They got these little ball joint things on them, so. There we go. Pop that thing back in there and you can see it's a little bit straighter than it was before. So very nice. Let's look at articulation. The head does span 360 degrees and has a lot of up and down motion. So they've got that little extra neck joint in there. So you get all of that range going on there. He can tilt side to side as well. So that's really nice. So, and a really good job on the sculpt on this guy here. So very cool paint apps. Standard ball and swivel at the shoulder joint. Again, you've got that swivel joint at the top of the bicep, double elbow joints, if I can get it to start there, double elbow joints, and then at the actual wrist, you've got a swivel and a rocker, so you have plenty of side to side, and then an actually forward and back motion there, so plenty of range there. We do have the ab crunch feature on this guy as well, so all the way down, all the way back up. It looks like, yeah, there we go. Do have the waist twist as well. Got the standard ball and swivel, kind of plasticky T-hooks at the actual hip joints. So you got a little bit of a limited range of motion there from side to side, but not too awful bad. Then you do have the twist at the top of the thigh there. You do have a double knee joint, and you've got the ball and swivel and rocker motion at the end of the foot there, the ankle joint. So all in all, really great articulation on this guy. Again, it's a little stiff, but there we go. Kind of the same problem you run into with a lot of these figures. You just gotta be careful about this. These bicep joints are a little bit weird sometimes, but seems fine right now. You do have the jacket here that is, well, if you pop the arms off, it's removable, but it's a really nice sculpt there. It looks really cool. That kind of flimsy plastic though, so you can kind of get it to bend all the way around, do all sorts of stuff, and it's really nice though. Really good job on the detail work on this thing. The accessories we have, basically you have a pistol here, which was featured in the actual comic series itself. Usually Wolverine doesn't use guns, but he had one in the comic, so he's got one here. It does fit into his side holster here, which is very nice. Fits in there very snugly and very securely. Always like it when they got holsters for weapons and things like that. The little plastic buckles here have some nice highlights on them as well. These things are always kind of a little bit weird in that they sometimes slip down. You kind of have to readjust them a little bit, but this one actually works a lot better than some that we've seen in the past. Luckily, the way they have the sculpt done on the leg itself, it is smaller at the top, and you've got kind of a wider joint right here in the center, so this is not going to slip over it very easily, so that's nice. It shouldn't fall down at any time. Then we have 2 additional hands here that you can use. So to actually do that, all you got to do is just grab the wrist itself and just yank on it. And that thing just pops right out. You can switch over and it just pegs right into the end there, like so. These peg joints are sometimes a little flimsy, so just be careful if you are kind of popping them in and out. But you do basically get the 2 options here. You got a closed fist with the claws or the open hand without claws. So it's kind of a nice alternative. I do kind of like the claw version better, but if you want him to hold his pistol, you'll have to swap those out for these open hands. So still very cool. We'll just go ahead and pop that thing back out and pop his clawed hand back in there. Works really well, stays nice and secure. So yeah, there you go. There is the old Wolverine from the Days of Future Past. We're going to zoom right back out again so we can get back up here to the entire thing. Turn this guy around and slide this guy back in here. So again, scale wise, this thing is it's a massive Sentinel figure, so this thing is just tremendous. As a set, this is an amazing set. You do get the Very cool alternate version of Wolverine here from the Days of Future Past. You get this really awesome scale Sentinel. You know, we've seen a couple of the Build-A-Figures in the past that were kind of like this, but now this one is all the way up and pretty much right in scale with at least my idea of what a Sentinel would be in real life. Though to be honest, I'm kind of thinking it might need to be a little bit bigger as well, but I'm not disappointed in this one whatsoever. I kind of remember back when we got some of the 3 3/4 inch figures. They actually released a Wolverine and a Sentinel figure in that line, and I think that scale was a little bit better, and that the figure, I want to say, was about this size, to be honest with you, and then the 3 3/4 figure would have been about 4-inch figure or whatever. Ended up being about this tall, so it kind of scaled a little bit better, but I'm actually really happy with the way this one turned out, so, you know, no problem whatsoever from me for that. And if I can ever actually get around to it, I need to go back and dig out that 3 3/4 inch Sentinel figure and do a comparison, but that's not going to happen right now. So anyways, this is an amazing set. If you haven't picked it up, it should still be available. It probably comes and goes. I'll put a link in the description down below to the Amazon page for this. You can go out there and check and see if it's actually still on sale from Amazon or still for sale. Be aware that, again, this is retail price on this thing was about $100. For that price, you do get a really cool Wolverine figure. So that's essentially a $20 figure. And then you're paying the $80 premium for this thing, which is about 3 figures tall. So if you say that's 3 figures worth, then that's another $60. So, you know, the $80 price range would probably have been a better point. But the electronics, I guess, count for the extra $20 maybe. So I do still think it's worthwhile at $100, but just barely. Again, I got this on sale, so it was about half that price, and for the $50 price range, it is a steal. So if you ever see it for that price again, snag it up, because you are not going to be disappointed. But again, that was kind of it was a sale. It was a one-time kind of thing, so it's probably not going to happen again. But yeah, even at the $100 mark, I don't think you're going to be disappointed with this thing. It's just massive and just looks awesome and has an amazing amount of detail on it and just looks freaking cool. So yes, go try to pick this thing up if you can. You're going to be happy with it. That's all the time we have for today, so thanks for watching. Drop some comments down below. Let us know what you think of this Days of Future Past Sentinel package. The awesome Sentinel and the cool Future Wolverine here. If you'd like to see anything looked at in future episodes, let me know that as well. And, you know, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. Give us a big thumbs up, like if you are so inclined. Share it with your friends. Let everybody know how awesome this bad boy is, because it is cool. Till next time, man.